Good morning. Good morning. Whoever is here. If you're in here, say hello, comment. I'm sure you have all seen the match already. I know the result. I knew the length and the extent of what happened yesterday, but I haven't been able to fully watch the entirety of the second half and to see what really unfolded and transpired in this one. I caught the majority of the first half. There wasn't much to catch up on in regards to Milan um, performance. They looked rather sloppy again. The Yassine Adli goal was sensational. So kudos to him. Congratulations on scoring that goal and making Milan look stupid. Most Milan fans just knew that this was going to be the case. Again, I think this just continues the overall frustration of where supporters are at, where I guess certain players are at, but mostly the biggest losers in this entire duration of this Milan saga, this joke of a season, is the fans. The fans slash supporters, whatever you want to call them, are coming out as the losers once again because of this travesty and clown show that has been Milan to start not only this season, but what we saw at the start of last year. Just quite simply nowhere near good enough. Um, hey, John. Well, at least that's a nice comment. Yeah. Glad you could tune in here. There's not going to be that many people in. I might just end up re-uploading this. Uh, but we'll end up seeing what do we got? 7 people or so. So again, rewatch well, not rewatching, watching for the first time this half of Milan against Fiorentina. So yeah, we'll get my live reaction. So Milan have just kicked off the ball and the second half has started. So yeah. Okay. See, Rafa plays the ball up to Morata. Morata mishandles it. Fiorentina win the ball back. Fiorentina pushing on a counterattack, pushing it out wide to the right. Teo defending Colpani. Colpani down the sideline to Dodo. Dodo kick out of play. It'll be a throw in for Fiorentina here. I'll be speeding up a little bit on every few seconds or so, just to not do the full 45 minutes. Excuse me. Again, Fiorentina had 2 less days of rest in Europe. They were playing Conference League on Thursday. Milan obviously had their match against Bayer Leverkusen 2 days prior. So Milan had a couple more days of rest, fouled by Emerson Royale here on Bove. Again, just he wins the ball, but he has to trample an entire player just to get the ball. So good start. Fiorentina are just really playing with the ball here. Ray, you're saying I don't want to ever see Teo Hernandez with the captain's armband again. From everything I read and saw, I think I'm probably going to be on the same page with that. At a play, I mean, this is just going back and forth right now with how this is going. Palladino giving his instructions. Fiorentina not playing well at all heading into this one. So this isn't even something that it should have even been on the table. They're playing terrible. And again, I think I had a couple of people just mention like, oh my God, they're giving us their best. Like they haven't been playing like this at all this season. Listen, anytime you're AC Milan and you're relatively good, everybody is going to play really tough against you because you're one of the biggest clubs in the world. And that's why the drop in mentality is bad. Okay, so Teo has the ball right now after Tomori just sprinting around. We're in the 48th minute. Again, Fiorentina looking very compact here. Milan just trying to switch the play. So Gabbia over to Emerson Royale. Royale sitting with the ball. Passing to Balisic, who just has to circle it back to Gabbia. Again, Fiorentina doing okay. Gabbia, long ball up forward. Morata goes down. Obviously, no foul with that. He went down far too easily. He knows it. Fiorentina over on the side with the ball again. Colpani back towards the middle. Moise Kane. I mean, he's offside by a mile on this one. He puts in the back of the net, but this wasn't a goal. I know that. So Fiorentina again, they're ready to just punch Milan on the counterattack like teams have been looking to do all season long. Um, Offside by a pretty substantial margin though on this one. So I guess I'm not even going to give kudos to Milan. Again, just shouldn't really be happening. It's just the predictability of it all and how teams are going to be approaching them. Okay, Gabbia with the ball now. Out wide to Emerson Royale. Poor first touch. Has to pass it back to Gabbia because he couldn't play a ball. Reinders to Gabbia. Gabbia long ball up again. Not good enough pass to Tammy. Gets it back. Passes centrally. Bad pass by Gabbia. Keen on it, and they're on the counter. They lose the ball. Fofana wins it back. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. Morata to Tammy. Tammy's got Leao. Oh my god. Tammy has to play that ball in harder than what it was. The idea was fine, but again, this is where it's funny. Like people want to blame Rafael Leao in the 50th minute here. Milan had an opportunity through on goal. If Tammy just passes that a little bit better, Rafael Leao can get there to get a chance on goal. Reinders switch of play over to Emerson Royale now. Wide. Awful pass to Yassine Adli, who just Emerson Royale is terrible, man. Like this is fundamentally flawed. Reinders wins the ball back. Fofana to Tammy. Tammy over, cuts inside, tries to pass or shoot right at the defender. That does nothing. He then ends up fouling Goodmanson. Holy shit, man. What like, like just to watch this is so insane. Just the stupidity of it all. Again, like this play of Milan is just sending long balls in over the top and hoping for a different result. Like this just isn't feasible. Also live tweeting this as well to try and get people to join in here. So we appreciate everybody in here. Oh, David commented. Hey, David. Fonseca comments about the player slash penalty taker. To me, this shows us great. Yeah, David, I'll get into that stuff afterwards and when that situation pops up. I mean, just Fofana here with the ball centrally has to pass back to Gabbia. Again, just very compact Fiorentina, typical of a Palladino side. Fofana here. Great. That's actually a good pass to Morata, who mishandles it. It's a tough ball to receive as well. Moise Kane winning a header. I thought that's a good old fashioned foul, but it's all right. By Gabbia has to stop Moise Kane there. Um, Again, like Milan coming out here, they have possession, but basically playing into Fiorentina's hands. This isn't some sort of great job by Milan to control this game. It's almost as if Fiorentina are just allowing this to happen and then just waiting for these counterattack opportunities. Even on that Moiskin, no, oh my God, why is Mike Magnan out by the touchline? The hell happened? They're showing replays. My goodness. Like this is just the disorganization. It's just why would Fiorentina even be bothered in this instance? It's insane. You see Natalie again goes off to Robin Gosens, who sends a pretty decent ball in there. Teo, I think thought he had more space than not. Gets fouled by Colpani. I mean, this isn't good. This is not good play. Like this is too lackadaisical. Like the intensity is just lacking. Fofana again turning the ball, going upfield, off to Leao. That's a really good pass, dude. Fofana is playing fine in this one. I'm not sure what the reviews were on Fofana, but Fofana has been the player that is making the most impact at the half. Magnan comes out to the corner of the box. He has to head that out. We're in the 53rd minute here. If you're just joining, hello to everybody who's tuning in. Okay, so there's a corner kick right now. Teo taking this, even though Pulisic has been great on set pieces. Teo sends it in. Not really that close. Headed back in. Yeah. That's the penalty. Moise Kean is just, I don't know what he was trying to do with this, but he completely misses the ball, hits Gabia. Gabia had an opportunity to score this. Yeah. Headed back in by Morata. Gabia goes in to go and win that ball, but that was, yeah, I mean, listen, Kane can't do that. Gabia got there first. I think that's pretty fortunate for Milan. And then this is the Tammy Abraham penalty, correct? We're going to VAR check in progress. This is like 2 minutes wasted of my time. And then we go to Tammy Abraham against David De Gea. So we'll get to see how this wonderful penalty is taken right now. How bad is this penalty? I didn't even watch this. Tammy. I mean, that's just like, that's a good save, but that penalty is like, seems like it's hit weak. And now you look like you have egg on your face because you took it away from the penalty taker, who's 10 for 10 in his career. Have to block idiots on here. I'll get into some of the stuff that happens in game and what people are talking about with this thing and blaming the manager for players being insubordinate. I think trying to be very nice here, but I think you have no idea what goes on in the real world if you think that the players are not to blame and you're putting blame on the manager. I think you're a child. I think you're a child if you're blaming the manager for this kind of stuff. Second glance at that penalty taken, that was not good by Tammy Abraham, hitting weak for a washed up David De Gea. It's the ghost of David De Gea. We're sitting here missing 2 penalties. These friggin' Fiorentina fans are just over the moon about this situation. That's how bad Milan are. It's pathetic. How could you not be happy? You're 1-0 up at home. You had a good Conference League win. One of the bigger teams in the entire world is coming to your home. You're up 1-0. They missed 2 penalties. They look absolutely garbage for it. You're getting your opportunities on the counterattacks. I would laugh too. I think it's funny. Reinders over to Dale. They're just switching around to Gabia. Milan just playing incredibly slow here. Real weekly hit past to Pulisic. Pulisic has to go back around. Pulisic virtually has no play here. Has to go back to Royale on the touchline. They're just playing between each other at this point. 58th minute. I mean, this is just stupid. Morata in the box, crossover, Fiorentina clearance out. Couldn't even win the corner kick on that one. Throw in Emerson Royale hasn't. Let's see what this guy cooks up here. Holding the ball, doesn't know what to do, throws it in. It's over to Fofana. Fofana very strong, triple teamed, cleared out by Fiorentina. Another throw in. $20 of you in here. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Hello. I mean, Fofana trying to play 1-2s with Royale. You see Natalie holding on with the ball. Rafa wins that header. Teo right there. What's he going to do? Teo captain for this game, showing a terrible mentality. Here comes Reinders. Switch of play, very nice. Over to Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale, failed cross. Thank you, Brendan. Because you think logically. Crossover, Pulisic, goal. That was so nice. It's a great cross by Teo, and the finish by Pulisic is nice. It's just he's the best player right now. There's no denying it. And I would like to have gotten hyped for this, but I know what the end result is, so very hard to get happy about that. Very hard to get happy about that. Again, if you haven't followed me on everything, you can follow me here. You're gonna likely record a podcast on Wednesday. I mean, just the finish by Pulisic's great. Like his touch is just phenomenal. I mean, Milan tied up. They started okay for this half. There's like 2 to 3 players who I think look like they want to be out there and want to win and produce. And some of these other guys, it's just much more of the same. But waiting for this downfall, waiting for where this ultimately implodes. Um, Again, personally speaking, I think a lot of these players have terrible attitudes. I think they don't have the demeanor of what it takes to play for Milan. To be quite honest, I think quite a few of these guys are a little complacent. Nice backheel pass by Leao over to Reinders. For me, Reinders, Leao. Like these guys can stay. Leao bombs a ball over inside the box. I mean, not the worst of things. Real tries to overcommit. Goodmanson with the ball now. Fofana wins it. I think it was played with his hand, but here's Pulisic. Touchline. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, there has to be a striker crashing the box there. Tammy mistimed his run. Leao fouled by Colpani. Colpani should get a yellow. He's coming in incredibly late. That okay. Colpani is just like that's a foul on him. Hello, Inter fan. Thank you for the kind words. Uncle Sharma's a good friend. Good man, Mr. Sharma. Again, they're just showing the replays of this Pulisic goal. I mean, this is just okay. Fiorentina with the ball here. You know, they're taking their time in possession. Milan look overly erratic. Um, they just look kind of like scared. Everybody is not like moving in sync. It's sort of okay. Time to run here. Fiorentina on the counter. Wide to Dodo. Deflected throw in Fiorentina. Fiorentina had a chance there. Looks like Keane wasted. Twitter is a fucking cesspool, I gotta say. I mean, it's just I love talking and interacting with you guys on here, but Jesus Christ. Fucking wasting my time on there. Manyan with the ball out. Okay. Let's see. What happened with Man United? Hey, Mr. Santangelo. I hope you find this very entertaining. I've been a little tame for now until I see the seams fall apart. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying it's Pulisic. It's Pulisic, Reinders, and Leao. So Morata with the ball here tries to cross it in, doesn't get it past the first defender, cleared out by Fiorentina. That's like a concussion straight up to your face. Right, we'll see. We're not as dire as some people think. There's fixable things, but people do not trust the people in charge to fix said things. I don't think it completely takes them out of this. Like we got to relax here. I know what you're saying. It's not they're not winning the league this year. I don't ever I didn't even think that they would win the league. I thought at best it's second place and then you maybe get lucky with Coppa Italia and Supercoppa. But that's it. That's always been my opinion of this side and I'm going to continue that. So yeah, Mission Royale again tries to do a trick, loses the ball, gets fouled. I mean, the midfield is there's Fofana's playing well, but they're Paolo. But like to your point, it's like yeah, you're right about the midfield, but you know what the problem is? There's two individual good midfielders, right? Like I think every Milan fan would agree. Reinders is a good player. Fofana is growing, and he's clearly going to be a good player. If he isn't already. The manager comes out and says they can't play next to each other. So like we're all agreeing that these like formations cross in the middle of the box. Who is that miss hit by Gabia? Gabia's always finding himself in these opportunities to score these headers. This one was wide. So again, once again with Milan, there's chances being created here. The lack of clinical finishing is once again costing them, and then obviously their really poor defense is probably what's going to cost them in this. Management acts our glorious midfield. I mean, listen, the midfield was like two different things. Benacer is his own fault. Selling Tonali is this current management's fault, and then losing Kessie for free was Maldini slash salary cap fault. Like like we're sitting here like trying to point the finger at like this management, that management. When you're cheap over the course of like multiple things, then multiple years, then what do you expect? Like you don't want to pay Kessie? Okay. He's going to leave. You don't want to pay Hakan Çalhanoğlu? He's going to leave. You don't want to pay more money to get Marcus Thuram? He's going to go to Inter. Like this is everything that happens. You don't want to pay up for a top tier coach? Fine, you get Paulo Fonseca, who's a decent coach with flaws. And do you want a flawed manager when you just have someone like Pioli? What is the difference? This is a great difference. Should have still sacked Pioli. Pioli should have never returned. I think that was fairly obvious. Okay, cross in the middle of the box here for Fiorentina. Swung back around. Milan couldn't get rid of the ball. They still can't get rid of the ball. Teo Hernandez here wins that, goes out of play off of him. Ray, yeah. I am on Sempre Milan. I cut up their videos. I've been on their podcasts and stuff like that. Fiorentina on the counter. Moise Kane just hit Tomori in the face. Out wide to Colpani. Colpani's going to cut in on his left. Oh, wow. That was actually a decent pass. Did Teo just get away with a. So stupid. What do we have here? Santos should be all right back. I don't even want to get into it. Deserbi. enough with the De Zerbi stuff. De Zerbi, like, first of all, struggled at certain clubs, played pretty good football, and is now okay with having rapists on his team. So you decide what kind of person you want as your manager. De Zerbi is someone who's excusing of that sort of behavior. Teo lucky to not get a penalty here. Was this a penalty? I don't think so, right? They went to VAR. Did they check this one in the 70th minute? Teo was the worst player on the pitch yesterday, and his behavior is not warranted. I got to be honest with you, Anthony. Everything I'm seeing, Emerson Royale is by far the most garbage player on the pitch, and I don't think I can stand watching him. Like Teo's standards are higher, and I think he had a worse performance relative to what we expect from him. But he's still got an assist. The other stuff is awful. But Emerson Royale, like I don't know how we sit here watch AC Milan and not come away with the fact that number 22 is the biggest liability on the pitch, and it's not even close. And his backup or whatever you want to call him at this point. Oh my goodness, Pulisic to Tammy was that onside, and Tammy just had another scuffed hit. It's just the finishing here. Oh my God, Tammy again to win. Oh my goodness. The margin's just not going Milan's way in this match as well. Let's see this. Yeah, it's a scuffed hit. David De Gea kick save. Why go Fonseca instead of Sadi higher then? Because they wanted to keep the same style of play and formation, and that Fonseca plays a 4-2-3-1 with better balance, and that's why they do that. On Football Italia, Inter as well as Barca, Newcastle is in the running for Jonathan David. I don't care about all that stuff right now. This is Milan have issues currently. The striker situation, that stuff doesn't change. Fucking people just on a blocking spree this morning. Another yellow. Who'd this go to? I think to Reinders. Everybody's questioned it, Anthony. Everybody's questioned it. Nobody understands it. 32 of you in here now. Hey guys, welcome on in. If you can, like up the video. Give me your thoughts. I'm just watching and reacting to the second half now. Didn't get a chance to tune in yesterday and go live. So you get to see me. Again, if you missed a good amount, all the way back to the start of the stream if you're interested in seeing and hearing my own thoughts on this. I think this is a lot of fun. Badera does a great job of it, so I would definitely tune into that. Omar, did you watch the game yesterday? Okay, so Leao subbed down in the 73rd minute as we head into international break. I don't know about that. I don't. Rafa wasn't that much into this game, and again, I think this goes back to Del Piero's quote. Okay, bomb up the field. Tomori just completely missed a header. Goodmanson goal. What the fuck just happened? I didn't know when this goal would happen. I have to go back. So De Gea gets the ball up. This is an assist by De Gea, or no? Sorry. Moise Kean, lay off to Goodmanson. I mean, Tomori there. God. It just. That's just like. How the fuck do you concede that? How the hell do you manage to do that? So many problems here. Tomori's missed time header is a huge part in this. Gabia late to coming up to close the space for Goodmanson. Teo's really caught in between the both of them. Let's see. Gabia retreating. Gabia doesn't pick up anybody. That's the problem. Gabia's in no man's land as well. Oh, Gabia. See, right there, what happens is if Tomori is mistiming that header, Tomori has to then pick up Kane when the layoff is there. There's a lack of communication between defender and the of the player who laid off the ball in Moise Kane and then who is picking up the player with the ball. Nobody does either. Mike Magnan gets beaten near post as well. This is fundamentally flawed. And some people will call you not a great fan if you didn't like think Milan would win the title. Like this isn't Europa League level defense. It's not even close. And by the way, people who are saying like Pavlovic for Tomori, what Pavlovic's strengths are Tomori's weaknesses, and what Tomori's strengths are Pavlovic's weaknesses. So you're interchanging the two issues there. And how does Milan respond after the goal? So we'll see. I'm curious to see how they respond again. So we had no Okafor. Tomori bombs the ball in. Tomori does not have anywhere near the technical ability or quality to send that ball in. Still does it. Counter attack for Fiorentina. Moise Kean. I mean, just a terrible job by him on this counter attack here. Emerson Royale wins the ball. That's all you need to know. I don't think he had his head up. He didn't have teammates on his left, but bad job. Oh yeah, I understand where. I'll get to the Pulisic stuff. I'll probably address all this at the end of this half. So you got like another 15 minutes or so. Again, Milan controlling here. Fiorentina love this. You know, sit back once again. Reinders with a switch. Again, you go over to Emerson Royale. Like Fiorentina is going to live with that switch to Emerson Royale every time because you come in here, he's isolated all by himself. What is he going to do? Try and cross right to David De Gea. Like this isn't quality play. It's just not. This you don't win this way. Who are you going to beat? Who are you going to beat like this? Fiorentina wants some substitutes to come in here. Bombed up the pitch. Offside. I mean, Emerson Royale is an eyesore. Every definition. And again, I'm trying not to rip on the guy. I try not to signal a singular person out. But holy shit, man. Just if I was a player on the other team, or if I'm Raffaele Palladino, why would any of these guys bother me? So he takes out Adley, he takes out Goodwinson. Okay. Morata working hard as always. I mean, there are some hard workers in this Milan side to make up for whatever else you want to consider or call this. Wonder if Fiorentina getting other stuff. I mean, the dressing room is a mess. And that's the funny thing though, too, because there's no clear-cut captain here. And again, I haven't seen the tail red card. I know he gets shot sent off. Like to it's just stupid. It's just so stupid. Yunus Musa not even good enough apparently to get in these. And I'm not saying Musa is good enough, but doesn't that speak volumes about where Musa is at right now? How are we considering this? To me, it's sort of like, where's Liberali? Where's Mattia Liberali? Does he get a chance? Where are these opportunities coming from for some people? Like, it's who is forcing this 4-2-3-1? It's not, dude. 4-2-3-1 is not the formation. I'm tired of this formation. This formation does not work with the personnel. Just doesn't. It just doesn't. We're gonna sit here and pretend like it does, and it just doesn't. It's just not enough. Milan turned the ball over. Transition for Fiorentina. Keeping calm in possession. Milan again erratic with their pressing, overcommitting late, running to the ball when the ball's already been passed. Just acres of space for Fiorentina. I just this is acres of space. Intercepted by Teo because that pass was telegraphed. Teo loses the ball immediately. Gambia wins it back. Pass up to Reinders. Reinders has to go on this counter attack here. You have to get it to Teo. Gets the ball to Teo. Back to Reinders. Reinders mishandles it because of his touch. That's not a foul. That's annoying. See that right there is just a poor counter attack by Milan in the 80th minute. Yeah, Ray, I think that is a very strong possibility. I do think Moncada is gone. I think Moncada and quite a few people are gone this summer. I mean, just the biggest, like, this is embarrassing. Okay, another 10 seconds in here. Pulisic's passing the ball back. David De Gea up the pitch. All right. Again, Milan pressing. No, Okafor comes in. Do we have the DPT? Sorry, Jedi Triangle. I really don't understand your question. Sartori or Tade would be upgrades. I don't want Tade. I don't want Tade. Keep Tade away from my club. No interest in that guy. Fiorentina again. It's just not good. Depth for what? I mean, there's players that they could sub on. Okay, so Pulisic, sure, he's pissed that he's off. I would be pissed too if that's the way the game went. But Chukwueze's got to get some minutes eventually. I understand you cannot sit Christian Pulisic because he's the best player, and I think that's the unfortunate reality for someone like Samuel Chukwueze. But yeah, like what do you want him to do? You gotta try him somehow. Okafor loses the ball. 83rd minute now. I mean, this is just stupid. This is nonsense. Yeah, Di Ottavio is a figurehead, but a very small one. He does not have that much influence. Again, like a slow switch of play. Fiorentina, when they're sitting back in their own half, like, what does this do? This isn't moving quick enough. You have to force them to move around. These passes are misplayed. It's sloppy. Okafor on the touchline, attacking one-on-one now. Let's see. Can he win a corner? He's triple teamed. He has no help. He's going to lose the ball. He's fouled. He's not fouled. Jesus fucking Christ. Came with the hold up play here. Out muscling Tamori. Great hold up play. Okay, he fouled Tamori. I mean, it's just a sloppy second half. Milan, the better side largely this half, but playing right into Fiorentina's hands. And Fiorentina got exactly what they wanted in the tie game. Royale cross hits the first man, deflected back to De Gea. This is an eyesore. This isn't fun to watch. This is just garbage. It's not. What is Palladino pissed about? Keen angry or upset that he fouled. Palladino got a red card. He has to leave. Yeah, whatever. Don't give a shit. Jog back to the locker room. De Gea's gonna bomb this up in the 85th minute right now. It's gone by quick. Replays go much faster than when you're watching live, or like unbeknownst. Okay, that's good hold up play by Tammy. Here's a counter attack by Milan. Let's see what Milan do. Emerson Royale over to the Chukwueze. Chukwueze, there's Emerson Royale in an overlap. Chukwueze shoots. Wow, he almost scored there. Holy shit. And people just shit on Chukwueze, man. I don't understand this. I really don't understand this. I don't care if that was deflected. That's a good chance on goal. He's getting a shot off. He's doing something. He's got some ideas. Pulisic's awesome, but like Chukwueze is more than a viable substitute. Set piece Milan. Not the worst, just didn't find anybody. Cleared out by Fiorentina. Again, Milan with the chances here, not clinical enough, and then their defense is a joke. Same old, same old. Milan bombing up the pitch. to nobody. Nobody there after Fiorentina cleared out. Number 4 goes down. Emerson Royale. It's like he got fouled. Emerson Royale did get fouled. Chuk is not terrible. Watch the sport. Enough. He's not terrible. Like, I'm sick of these fucking comments about that shit. He's fucking not. He's like I'm really tired of like players getting limited opportunities because Pulisic is a great player, and then we're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, Chukwueze, why haven't you done so much? Why haven't you done incredible? Why aren't you doing awesome with these limited opportunities?" Wow, I wonder why. Chukwueze beats his man in, and he scuffed the shot. Maybe should have laid it off, but every single player on this team has scuffed a shot like that and had a shit play in this. Chukwueze is the one actually beating his man and having an opportunity through on goal. It just the shot is awful, but our left winger, who's a superstar, also does the same thing. It just lay it off. Sure, again, it's frustrating. But like again, the guy's getting in the 81st, 82nd minute, and everybody wants to get upset about it and be like, "Why aren't you doing more in your 10 minutes?" Yeah, sorry, he's getting 10 minutes. Like, you know. Is it? But again, this is also like when's he gonna get that opportunity? Header won by Tammy. Morata down the line, crossed up, sends that ball in. That was a really good job to at least get that pass off. Chukwueze gets less minutes than Macias. Can we think here for a second? Do you want to pull up the statistics when we compare minutes between two players and how many minutes Junior Macias got constantly in a much more balanced side, by the way, where Chukwueze gets thrown in to a side that's completely lackadaisical? Like this, can anyone be honest about Chukwueze in the situations? And this is the same shit with CDK. This is the same thing. And when everybody tried telling me why CDK was awful, and I had to explain to you guys that this guy wasn't given a fair opportunity, even though he was inconsistent. Defensive over Chukwueze, you're making comments about Chukwueze and calling him terrible when it's just not even true. Like, it's just disingenuous conversations that are made in bad faith. Corner for Milan doesn't get to anybody. Like, this isn't defensive over it. It's just about having an actual fair conversation on a player and being honest about it. If we're not going to be honest, then why are we having the conversation? It's not even like relatively fair. And also, like, he's playing behind like the best player in the league. He doesn't know. No, Zuzu, you're incorrect. You're false. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're incorrect. It's not even like close. Okay. Chukwueze doesn't play because Christian Pulisic is in front of him. Christian Pulisic has been a top 5 player in Serie A, okay, since he came into the league last year. Just straight up, one of the best attacking players. And guess what? Are you going to bench him for that? Sorry, out of focus. No, you're not going to bench him. So it's a ridiculous thing to say. That's why he doesn't get minutes. He doesn't get minutes because the guy in front of him is incredible. That's why. It's not because, oh yeah, they let Chukwueze go in there. He's uncontested with anybody for a starting position or getting minutes. So this match, very much like many of the matches in which Milan have dropped points this season, they had plenty of chances to create. They're not, and Matt has said this multiple times, that when you create chances and, well, okay, put it this way. A great point that Santangelo always made was, and has made with this side is, and I agree with him, when you can say, oh my God, Tammy. Oh my God, Tammy. How do you do that? That's a great point example right there and where I'm going to get to with another mischance. Here's the problem. When you concede as much as Milan does, and when you put yourself under fire and under duress for all these opportunities, you have to basically score 3 to 4 goals a game in order to win. And within Serie A, that's a problem. And with a club like Milan and your aspirations, that's a problem. And the way teams set up and play defensively. And when you have a night like tonight, where Milan get their shots, they had multiple penalties, they missed their penalties. Like, this is brutal. This is brutal. It's also not the first time Ali Oxenfree for first time with that. No, you don't. You keep Chukwueze. You don't have to get someone else. You don't, like we don't have to do that. If Chukwueze wants to go somewhere else because he's not getting playing time, I understand. But if he wants to stay here, you keep him. There's no reason not to. There's so many games to be played. Leao passes a lot though. I'm not really sure what you mean. Focus being on a creative outlet instead of physical. Oh, MCIG. I'm sorry. Zuga Ziga Ziga Zuga Zig. Um, yeah, no, that's not. Chukwueze sends in a cross here. That's a great cross. What are we talking about with Chukwueze? Do people rip in Chukwueze for this because he scuffed a shot? I get what you're saying, but that goal that Dennis Mann scored, Chukwueze played well. Who is the yo? Nah, it's not your fault about the username. And by the way, the Chukwueze stuff is also not about you. I was seeing this on Twitter and the feeds. Hey, Anthony, what do we got here? Anthony, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's it. That's okay, man. Zug. I'm just gonna call you Zug. Let's just go with that. You called Chukwueze horrible. If you don't like Chukwueze as a player, that's one thing. Chukwueze is not horrible. He's not. He's not bad. He hasn't been a bad signing. Man, they don't even have close to the quality, brother, and you know it. And it's annoying because we used to have to scrape and claw to get goals. Now, like this Milan creates so many chances. Like this is a really good offensive side. I don't think there's. I think only Inter has a conversation or has a shout on Atalanta as well. Oh my god, they hit the crossbar. Holy shit. Fiorentina. Jedi, I'll get to your comment in a second about Pulisic. I mean, this is just okay. Teo upset with the side linesman. Oh my god. God. I'd jump off a bridge instead of having Dodo as my right back. I do not like Jimenez. A fair nude. Well, he was there. I know he's in the prem now. Fiorentina being assholes, putting two balls on the pitch at the same time. Yeah, I saw that clip on the Alex free. I'm curious to see this Teo Hernandez red card. Are they going to show this? Nah, game ends immediately. I don't get a chance to see the red card. So that's how Milan ended up losing. Just flat out embarrassing on all fronts. To see something like that just go down is just incredibly frustrating on a fan level. This is just inexcusable to see the way this sort of unfolds over the course of whatever. Um, I know I have this site muted again. If you haven't liked up the video, if you guys have not done that, We should be okay. Maybe a shot. 2 extra days of rest, indeed. Yeah, so Teo like getting the red card in this. So I will get into addressing this penalty disaster, and I want to get into this now, and I think that this should be addressed. As a supporter, a longtime supporter, a fan of these players, not a complete defender of the manager, but just in general, I think we need to talk about this penalty situation yesterday. Um, if anyone knows anything, right, we know that when players are designated as a penalty taker, they should all know this. This shouldn't come as a surprise to many of them, right? This is before kickoff. The manager shouldn't have to reiterate himself. If I'm at my job and I am told by my boss, "Hey Martino, I need you to do this. This is how we do things here." And I'm like, "Okay, I am not supposed to be insubordinate. I'm not supposed to disregard my boss's rules." So when that situation comes about on how I'm supposed to do something at work, I follow those orders because that's what I was told. That's what I'm supposed to do as an adult and an employee. Teo Hernandez and all these other players, Tammy Abraham, Morata, whoever else you want to point the finger at in this situation, are employees of Milan. They work underneath Paulo Fonseca. And when you work underneath someone like Paulo Fonseca, I don't give a damn if you respect the guy or don't respect the guy, if you like him or not, or if you agree with everything he has to say. When he says Christian Pulisic is the penalty taker, who, by the way, is 10 for 10 in his career, he is the penalty taker. I don't give a shit if it's your birthday. I don't care what you were doing at Chelsea. I don't care what you were doing at different phases or aspects of your career. If the penalty taker is designated to one player, then you give it to said player. I understand Christian Pulisic in this angle and not trying to stir up some issues there because the team is down. But again, we saw two penalties within this match. Teo Hernandez took the first one. He's captain. He should be the one that should be giving the ball to Pulisic because that's his job designated as the leader of AC Milan. You're supposed to be the one stepping up, giving the player that's supposed to be taking the penalty the ball. You took it, you missed it, and now you look bad. And then it goes into the second half. Tammy Abraham, for whatever reason, taking the penalty here. It's one thing when you're playing Venezia, you're scoring multiple goals. You can afford to give the ball to Tammy Abraham because you're winning by so much. Milan were losing in both situations in which the penalties were being taken. They were down 1-0 in both of them. And guess what happened? Milan did not give it to the guy that it was designated to go to. And you know what that means? The players are insubordinate. It means the coach also doesn't have control of the dressing room. I'm not on the side of the coach. I'm not on the side of the players. I'm on the side of the supporters in the club. And what is best for the club is letting Christian Pulisic take the penalties. And if you don't agree with that, whether you're the player, whether you're the fan, whether you're the coach, you're all a part of the problem. We shouldn't have to be sitting here wondering about who is taking penalties when we're supposed to know who is taking penalties. This has been absolutely pathetic. It's been childish. And the fact that some people are defending said players or blaming the manager is nonsense. This entire situation is nonsense. It should be clean, cut, and dry. We know who our penalty taker is, and every single time we get a penalty, he takes that penalty unless the situations or circumstances within said match change. Like a Venezia where you're up 3-0. Okay, does Pulisic necessarily have to take this penalty because we're worried about the lead? No, he doesn't necessarily have to because we're up 3-0. But when you're down 1-0, you need every point possible. Juve just dropped points over the weekend. That's what you have to do. This absolute embarrassment. And when Teo Hernandez is supposed to be the captain, he gets sent off after the match with this. How else are you not supposed to be disappointed by these group of players? It's absolutely pathetic. There's so many different things as to why they won't be winning anything this season. One, it starts with the terrible defense. It has to do with the lack of clinical finishing, their terrible job in transitionally, the managers coming out and making comments after the match about, oh well, I told the players that Pulisic was the penalty taker. They should have been doing and listening to what I've been saying. Well, you don't comment that out loud. You don't do that. You say, I will handle this with the players. I'm disappointed in which something has happened, how this has happened. This has been so mind numbing. And then for the players to go out and do that, what do you do? Teo Hernandez, you're up for a contract extension, my guy, and you're acting like this? Does anyone here think that yesterday, after what happened, that Teo Hernandez should be the captain of AC Milan? And I'm not asking people who have been fans for 2 years. I'm asking for supporters that have watched some of the greatest teams that you have ever seen. Do you think someone like Teo Hernandez and his character and what he did yesterday as the captain for multiple reasons was pathetic? and I love this player. This is a great player. Yesterday, a coward, an absolute coward. I am so disappointed in someone who's supposed to be the leader. And by the way, I better see the vitriol towards Teo Hernandez today after what happened be as high as we are when Rafael Leao is criticized for his body language. I better see it. I better damn see it. And by the way, with Pulisic, I'm not going to get on the guy because if Pulisic is sitting there and he knows he's supposed to be getting the penalty, he is not supposed to be the one that should sit there and steal the ball from him or whatever player has the ball. That doesn't reflect well upon him. It's poor, chemistry between the players. Camaraderie is low. You don't want somebody arguing and visibly seeing these issues. And now, I hope this never happens again. I hope all these players feel so embarrassed and feel like they look so stupid that they're not even going to consider ever taking the ball away from Christian Pulisic unless the manager dictates otherwise. This side was so pathetic yesterday, and there's been moments throughout my fandom where I've been disappointed, embarrassed. What I just saw transpire over the 90 minutes is up there with one of the most embarrassing matches and displays and representation of AC Milan that I've ever seen. And there really isn't much left to say about that. And I hope that my message and my point of view was conveyed here, where I'm not coming across that I dislike the players, where I hate the players, where I'm just picking sides with Fonseca as opposed to not Fonseca. Listen, when you're told to do something, you do it. You shut the fuck up and you do it. There's nothing else. You don't have to argue with it. This is just, it's childish. And by the way, everybody, everybody is being judged heading into next season. Nobody, in my opinion, outside of Pulisic, maybe two other players, should have a guaranteed spot within this squad next year. Everyone else, it's up for grabs now. Your job is not safe. Your job should not be safe by the display that I saw yesterday. And this isn't even just a yesterday thing. This is an every match day thing. Okay? There's times where we have to sit here, defend some of the players for this and that. Enough already. I'm sick of it. But like the manager done a really mediocre job at best. At best, if we're being honest. He's lucky that he's probably not sacked yet. And we're going to sit here and expect that Teo Hernandez deserves a pay increase and to be one of the leaders of this side when he can't even lead against Fiorentina and follow simple instructions and get sent off after the match. And part of it is because I'm fucking pissed that I'm traveling all the way across the world and I can't see one of the best players now because he decides to throw a fucking shit fit after the match. And excuse my language. Excuse people if you're younger and you're listening to this. But quite honestly, I don't get like this that often anymore. And when I see stuff like this, it's infuriating. It makes you irate because you see other clubs fixing and making advancements forward. This club is taking steps backwards. Backwards. And yes, Ali, to blame the manager in this instance, I have to be honest with you. I think you're on Mars. Your brain is on Mars if you're blaming the guy that gave the instructions. Why should the manager have to tell professionals how shit's supposed to go when he already told you? He has to yell at you? Are you a child? You're 27. You just turned 27. Can you act like it? Is anyone else disgusted by this? My God, it's just pathetic. I can hold losing to great sides that outplay us. I can manage losing to the way to Leverkusen that we lost. I can digest that. I can come away with that and saying, okay, maybe we could turn around. Yesterday, what I just saw is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And everybody should get angry. Every single fan possible should get upset about that. Just really, really annoying. Just really annoying. Lanzoni gestione. Interesting. Yeah, right, basically. Basically. We got 40 comments in here, been streaming for an hour. And that clip on that rant is going to be uploaded. So, yeah. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed any of it. Um, yeah, Santangelo and I should be recording Wednesday, hopefully. We'll figure that out. And then we'll get that podcast up. We'll get more of his perspective from this match heading into the international break. Um, Also, again, check out Kush's channel, Football Kush. Kush is the man. Go and check out Sempre Milan. Go and check out a bunch of different people. Old Hard Rossonero, Milan Weekly Podcast is great. Vinny and Steve, I'm sure they're going to have very strong opinions tonight on their channel. So be sure to check them out. They go live tonight, Milan Weekly Podcast. Shout out Presidente Marcello. Shout out to, again, Fabio and Gio. They're awesome, good guys. They do Milan coast to coast. They usually go on Wednesdays as well. You go and check them out. You go and check out Serie A Sit Down with Frank Crivello and Richard Charman as well. Or Richard, if I messed up the name, I truly apologize. But yeah, again, really frustrating loss with Milan. We'll talk about the loss more from my perspective, from Santangelo's perspective. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Take care.